I know I'm a little late for Valentine's Day, unless you're watching this next year, but I still wanted to get you something. I can't give you my real heart, so I'll make you one instead. At the base of all hearts lays a foil potato that gets covered with polymer clay. I wanted to use a firm clay since I'll be holding it a lot, but it was a pain, so I switched to medium firm instead. After making a rough base shape, I'll add the main arteries. I'm starting with the superior vena cava. I'd love to tell you more about what each part is responsible for, but I would just be reading off of Wikipedia. So I'll just tell you the names instead and pretend that I know something. I try to make it anatomically accurate, but I would like to apologize in advance if anyone watching has actual knowledge about this subject. Then I added the aorta and pulmonary artery. The aorta also gets a few smaller tubes on top of it. And all of the tubes get hollowed out. The right upper chamber gets some detail. There were many pictures online of it being smooth and some with it looking like this, so I just went with the more textured look. This way there is a bit more variety. To add texture, I poked a piece of clay with a tool and baked it. Now I can use it as a little texture stamp. I also went over all of it with a dish sponge for a bit more different texture. I'm putting on a glove for the rest of the sculpting so I don't get my fingerprints all over the texture. All of the arteries get a generous amount of lines and texture. If you are wondering how I put this down without smushing everything, I'm using a piece of foam. I'm not sure what it's called though. Then I added all the veins around the heart and blended them in a bit. I also baked the sculpture on the foam, but please be careful and don't put just any random foam in your oven. Always do your research first about melting temperatures, and I would advise you to use a separate oven that you do not use for food. I went over it with isopropyl alcohol and then put the heart into the oven to cure. This only works with clay hearts though, so you'll have to find another way to fix yours. Since it is a gift, it needs a gift box. I'm making one from Foamcore. I cut out a base shape that will fit the heart and glued on 4 walls. And then made a lid the same way. Normally I would just use some sandpaper to sand it, but I didn't have any, so it's time to bring out the heavy machinery. To prime and smooth the foam, I'm using Flexbond. This is mostly used for cosplay, but you can also use Mod Podge or just regular white glue. I covered the box in 2 layers to smooth the foam and fill the seams. And then another layer mixed with a bit of paint. Then finally, just a layer of paint. To paint the heart, I'm starting with the base color of light pink. Then I'm slowly going over everything with a red and blending it in with the pink. After covering most of the pink, I'm going to do the same thing again with a darker red. The veins get an even darker color. Lastly, I'll cover the whole thing in a dark red wash. Then a gloss varnish to make it nice and slimy, and that's it. As always, thank you to my wonderful patrons who help this channel keep going, and thank you for watching. And waiting. I'm currently working on a few things at the same time, so I'll see you next time. Bye!